Welcome back to Shit Creek Survivors. We believe in one thing. We all have a Shit Creek story. Every person faces moments in life where they find themselves overwhelmed, stuck, or wondering how they're even going to make it through. The difference is finding the paddles that help us navigate those difficult seasons. Today's Shit Creek story is Kevin's. Kevin's journey is a powerful testimony of trauma, addiction, brokenness, and finding hope through Jesus Christ. His story is a reminder that even in our darkest moments when we feel abandoned or alone, God is still there. Let's get into it.
I'm just a regular dude. Like I'm absolutely not special in any capacity as far as like I have accomplishments. I'm an Eagle Scout.
There you
1996.
That's classic.
Other than that, it's if you were to look at my life, it would just be a road strewn with carnage and poor decisions.
Okay, good.
You know what I mean?
Good. You're in the right place.
Yeah, nothing. I've never been great.
Yeah.
A scholar or anything. I learn things and I like it.
I got you.
I work on lawnmowers.
There you go. Yeah.
In my garage.
Speaking of which, that's how we met. I actually brought you my generator because, of course, I had it sitting for 5 years, hadn't run it at all, and it had gas sitting in it. So when I tried to run it when I needed it, no go.
That's right.
And then my wife was able to find you, and you sorted this out. But what was really interesting is right when we met, I think you may have asked about the sign on the truck or Shit Creek Survivors or something like that. I kind of explained it, and you went immediately into talking about God. And that was super interesting to me because that week specifically, I had been praying to meet someone who was willing to share their testimony, but I didn't want a classic testimony. I went to church growing up, I fell away in high school, but in college, I came back and came to my senses.
Yeah.
I wanted to meet someone like me. I wanted to meet someone who ran into walls over and over. And then when they saw another wall, decided to run into that one too.
Yeah.
It's just, that's relatable to me. That it's not relatable for me to hear someone to talk about, they were surrounded by the church and like as an extended family their whole life. I never experienced that. I mean, I did a little Sunday school when I was a little kid, but again, God was just kind of taught to me in general as love,
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way I rolled with it. But my walk with God has not been easy. I've had long periods of I felt like I was too shameful to go to him just for things that have happened in my life. We talked about the 5-year-old thing on the show before, and I shared that with you, which was never true. You know what I mean? It was just a barrier that had been put up. And, I was really struggling after I got shot, and everyone hated police. And for the first time, almost out of desperation, a long time, I started to reach out and be like, God, are you there? Yeah. And I bought the book because, again, I was a police officer during the Ferguson, Missouri protest. So everyone hated police.
Yeah.
Like we were getting shot at, we were getting, bricks thrown at us, spit on, bags of whatever, thrown at us and all that kind of stuff. And we were outnumbered. And so I was kind of like, wow, am I even in the right profession here, to be dead honest? You know what I mean? Because I didn't, no one likes to be the person that everyone hates, but at the same time, you got to play your part. So I actually bought the book, Is Heaven for Real, which is a book that was written by a little kid and his parents about his near-death experience. And at first, they didn't actually see his near-death experience as real. And the father was a pastor until he kept talking about it. The kid kept talking about it. So I'm like, fine, I'll read it. I buy the book online. I put it in my bag the night I got shot. That's freaking crazy. Like, careful what you wish for, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
And it set me on this journey. For a long time, I was in a lot of pain, obviously, with the PTSD and all that kind of stuff. But when I finally got to the point where I was like, I need to get my life together, that's when God showed up.
Yeah.
When I was desperate and willing to do the stuff that I wasn't willing to do before, willing to cry out, honestly, willing to get on my knees and ask for help and ask for forgiveness. And it showed up, man. Like, it freaking showed up, and it blew me away. And, I love hearing stories about that. I love hearing stories about the rough road because I think people don't think God's on the rough road. He's more there, I think, than anywhere.
Yeah.
Like if you consider it, like, people, I've heard people criticize, AA meetings and like churches for going into jail. God's in the jail too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
these are suffering people who've made
Absolutely.
bad decisions and are having to serve the repercussions. He's
Right.
there too. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
I've been in there. So he's everywhere, especially on the rough roads. Especially on the rough roads. And
Yeah.
one more thing that's even crazier is at this point in my road, I'm so grateful for the roughness because it's shown me things that I wouldn't have been able to see another way.
That's right.
And I'm able to discuss things and feel things that I don't actually get to talk about with a lot of people face to face,
Yeah.
but you seem to be on that road too. So what I would love for you to do today is share your testimony. If you'd be willing to do that, kind
Yeah.
of like your walk with God, the good, the bad, the ugly, the funny, the stupid, the
Yeah,
dumb, whatever it
absolutely.
is that got you to today, sitting here, talking to another individual, venturing into his house. You don't really know me.
Yeah,
He's met
right,
me a couple
right.
times.
Yeah, that's right.
Coming in here to talk about God.
Right.
I mean, I never thought I'd be this dude. I didn't think I'd be this dude, and now I'm so excited to be this dude
Yeah.
because it was a long road to get
Right,
to here,
right.
you know, and I think you can relate. So, if you would, Kevin, just tell us the story and
Well,
enlighten me.
man, I was born in the boat with no paddles.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, so I was born in Boise, Idaho, in 79,
Mhm.
1979, old school, right?
Yeah.
And my biological father dipped out. Like, he didn't want to have anything to do with me, right?
Okay.
And so it was me and my mom. She got remarried, and then had my twin sisters with him.
Okay.
In the meantime, he had adopted me, and I was only like maybe 2 years old,
Mhm.
right? Because my twin sisters are 2 years younger. And then shortly after, my mom left,
Mm.
right? And so you got this guy that has 3 kids, doesn't know what to do. Yeah, he's in his 30s, has no clue what's going on,
Wow.
and has
Yeah.
to raise him. And there was some anger issues and frustration, right? And I wasn't the greatest kid. I ain't
Wow.
gonna lie. I mean, I I pushed buttons. I did, I'm an independent thinker, right?
Yeah.
But what that,
But you were a kid.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But what that does to you psychologically, I don't really know like the doctory stuff about it, right? But
That's all right.
it did something to me,
Okay.
and made me hateful. Over time, it's like a seed in the ground, right? It doesn't start out as hate, but the more it goes on and the more you see that you're abandoned and,
Yeah.
you don't have anybody,
Yeah.
you're on your own.
Yeah.
You're not really living on the street or nothing, but you're on your own mentally.
Yeah.
And so I had to kind of deal with that. And that was the beginning of that long road we were just talking about, like mentally, spiritually, of what I was going to have to overcome later in life.
Yeah.
Right. As you mature and you grow, now the concrete's starting to solidify. Now there's a rot that's setting in,
Mm.
Didn't start out that way, but it turned into that. And so
it kind of like progressed that
yeah,
way.
it just does, because that's
Yeah.
what sin and the absence of God does.
Yeah.
It propagates a malignancy, right? It just grows and festers, and it makes you a hard person with no compassion,
Yeah.
And I got to back up, because that wasn't true. God was with me the whole time. I didn't know it,
Yeah.
but I did have a big heart and a very compassionate kindness towards people, because I had seen where I came from, even as a kid. And I knew that was painful. And
Yeah.
so whenever I saw someone else in pain, I was always right there, like, trying to
Yeah.
cheer them up.
Yeah.
I'm a real funny guy, so I'd always make jokes and try to cheer them up and help them out.
It's funny how that happens.
Yeah.
When you felt pain, you're able to see pain in others.
Yeah.
And you hate that feeling, so you try to attend to it, like almost like you wish you were attended to. You know what I mean?
Right,
You're
right.
almost saving yourself. Like,
Well, yeah, and you don't want someone else to go through that or feel bad. And so that's how I know that God was in my heart, in at whatever capacity.
Yeah.
Because there's 2 ways you can deal with that. You can turn to the other side and just visit that pain on other people at any point you can.
Yeah.
See weakness, exploit it, you know,
Yeah.
and I just didn't think that was right. So I guess when I was 10 years old, we'd moved to, by then, we were in Montana, and my mom had started coming back into the picture. And when I was 10 years old, and she wanted her kids back.
Okay.
She had remarried, and during that time, she had joined the Navy
Okay.
and met her husband, right? And so she starts talking and wants her kids. And I'm the oldest, right? So she's, talking to me, and me not ever have really met my mom or remembered her. I
Mhm.
was very enamored by it, you know. And so I decided to come down for a year to Georgia to try it out. And I had a year to, see if I liked it and wanted to go
Right.
back, which on retrospect is a tough choice to put in a kid's lap. It has
100%.
I had no idea, what's going on.
Yeah.
I didn't know what kind of person she was, and
Yeah.
there was no explanation of why she had left or anything like that. And I don't want this to be about this,
Understood.
because
Yeah.
she's completely different now.
Yeah.
God has healed everything. But in order to understand the story, you got to understand the record,
Sure.
the
Yeah.
fact, right? So I came to live here, and it was pretty good. I didn't, you know, her husband at the time, or, that still is, um, great guy, man. Like totally, naval aviator, flew for Delta. He
Cool.
had the opposite kind of family that all of ours did on my mom's side. He had like the, leave it
Gotcha.
to Beaver type. You know what I mean? He's just the regular
Yeah.
guy. He was really good. He did everything right.
Like, that's a normal family.
Yeah. So years go on, and I end up asking him to adopt me
Okay.
as his son. So now I've had like 3 dads. The
Mhm.
first one wasn't really there, but
Yeah.
I'd gone. And so at some point you just kind of feel like you're being schlepped around, from here to here to here. And that was tough, especially when I got into like adolescence and, the teenagery, the
Yeah.
really rebellion part. And so my mom had some problems that I didn't know about, obviously, but it kind of mentally issues from her childhood.
Got it.
And so we're going to see how, and we're going to talk about how there's a chain reaction from childhood to childhood, childhood of family, that it just keeps going down the line,
Yeah.
and it gets worse and worse, right?
Yeah.
So she had a bad childhood, made bad decisions, affected her kid, and I was in that position.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to make bad decisions, right?
Mhm.
Because I don't care. I'm
Right.
just angry now. I'm just angry. So I grew up, it was tumultuous, man. It was tough with my mom and my dad trying to make sense of it. There was a lot that was on me as
Mm.
far as I could act better. I could have just towed the line,
Yeah.
and
Was there any of that, like, how can you tell me what to do kind of thing? Like,
no, I never really threw any of that in anybody's face.
mhm. I was just
Because
curious.
that would have unleashed a rage that,
Okay.
I
So
mean,
you were aware. You're like,
oh yeah, like
stay off
we don't
that.
talk about that,
Okay.
right? Even though it needs to be talked about.
Okay.
And eventually it was. And through this whole thing, there was an incredible amount of forgiveness,
Awesome.
so that the chain had been broken,
That's awesome.
right? Um, but I had just gone along. I enlisted in the Marine Corps. That's a whole different story
Mhm.
for another time.
Okay.
But I enlisted in the Marine Corps and got out and began my life kind of on my own. Had no purpose at all, like zero skills. I was infantry,
Okay.
so I was a shooter,
Yeah.
right? No skills whatsoever that would translate into civilian life. So I'm just doing these jobs, and I have this personality where I don't want to learn something, be good at it, and do it the rest of my life.
Mhm.
I want to do something, master it, and move on,
Mhm.
right?
Keep growing.
I want to know how to do this. I want to know how to do this. I can't see myself doing the same thing for 30 years, man. I mean,
Right.
that's just, good God, that's boring.
Yeah.
And I can't have my mind doesn't work like that. It
Got
would
it.
just run me into the ground,
Okay.
depression and all that. And so I'm having a hard time finding my way, falling into the crowd that accepts you,
Mhm.
right? And that's always the people who are broken too,
Yep.
right? It's never the good, the kind of people like high society types, I guess.
But it's tempting because then you're not alone.
Right. And then they understand, but it's also, I brought a different aspect of life to people, right?
Mhm.
So, man, I'm fun to be around. And when I was drinking and man,
Yeah.
the fun doesn't end. I mean, it would go on and on. I mean, we had some really awesome times, but that whole time, not dealing with those seeds of rot, it's getting
Mhm.
worse. Now I'm feeding it alcohol. I'm feeding it drugs. Nothing terrible, like not slamming heroin or nothing like that. Although
Gotcha.
that was around. I was a stoner for 25 years. You know,
Nice.
um, just that sort of thing. And I maintained everything. You
Okay.
know what I mean? It never got like out of hand as far as something taking a hold of me. And then that became my life because I get
Yeah.
bored with stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Like, oh, I'm done with this. But drinking was a constant because it was I didn't have to, just like it is like the whole, like what everybody says about drinking. You don't have to face nothing when you're drinking
Right.
because your mind blanks out.
Yeah.
All you're thinking about is right now. Like I would just sit there and smoke meat,
Yeah.
for 13 hours. And by the time it's done, I'm too drunk to eat it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
had friends that would do it with me, I'm trying to stay on a timeline so that you can see the progression of how now all this time I grew up in church,
Yep.
like a charismatic type or evangelist type church, non-denominational.
Okay.
So this whole time with my mom, I was in a good church, but it was one of those forced things, and I'd had to sit through service, and I'm like half asleep. The first person I met when I came here, because right when I got off the plane in Georgia, like we went to church because it was Wednesday,
Okay.
and mom had to take me to church. And the first person I met is my wife, Miriam,
Oh, whoa.
at like 10 years old. She was there at children's church. We met and we were just, so I got to throw that out to her.
Yeah. Good job.
Excuse me. So if you look and I look back and I see that there's a foundation that was laid without me having any clue about it, but there was that always Sunday and Wednesday, man. Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday, we were at church and I was getting fed the word.
Got it.
Now it was falling on hard ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these
Yeah.
seeds weren't, I thought, but having that, I always knew right and wrong. And there was always that spirit in me telling me, like, this isn't right. Not to do this.
Like a guttural response.
Yeah, like and I wasn't even close to God. I'd, rid him off. I was like, you know what? You don't care. I don't care.
Mhm.
We're just so far from the truth once right?
Yeah.
And so I had that foundation. I'm living this terrible life. I'm going into places that nobody should go into, right? With my buddies that are scoring stuff,
Mhm.
And everywhere I went, every place, there was the people around me were in some way convicted because I'd walk in there and instantly they would just stop and look and be like, "Are you a cop?" I'm like, "No, man. I'm just me.
Right.
No, I don't even like cops,
Yeah.
I've got a phone book full of misdemeanors, you know what I mean? Like I've been hemmed up, arrested, for disorderly conduct and all
Right.
this stuff. Everything hey, I'm gonna tell you, everything bad that's happened to me has been when I was drunk.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Like I don't make bad decisions when I'm sober.
That's true.
Strangely enough.
That's
Imagine
true.
that.
You
So
don't wake up in the morning and go, "What I do?" And then
yeah, and that was man, that's part of the thing. So this would start happening. And I learned how to drink, I guess, in high school. I started drinking. I knew this girl. Now, this is crazy. All right. So I had this idea when I was a senior in high school that I would take step aerobics class
Okay.
because I'm the only guy in there.
Mhm.
And it was 50 girls, and I'm in this step aerobics class, right?
Yeah.
I mean, brilliant, right? This is
Yeah.
a brilliant plan.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I mean, all the girls liked me, and I got along. I mean, I did the step, and it is not easy.
Right.
Like I thought this was gonna be cake. No,
Yeah.
no, no, this sucks. I didn't
Yeah.
know what I signed up for. But there was this one girl who her father worked for Eastern Airlines at the time, right when
Mhm.
it was going under, and he was
Okay.
like head of the ground crew or whatever, and they were liquidating everything, and so he had pallets of those little tiny bottles of like Jack
Really?
Daniel, all the liquors, right?
Uh-huh.
She would bring me a grocery sack full of them at school,
Wow.
right? Because she's
That's
like,
cool.
yeah. So
That's cool. That's
yeah.
funny.
So I mean, so I was just drinking at school, not getting real. You can't get too hammed, because
Right. Yeah.
our school was like the administrators. They were tough, man. You didn't talk back to them. There was respect.
Yeah.
You don't be drinking,
Yeah.
obviously.
Don't get
So,
caught.
but that's yeah. So I found out quickly that drinking was my medicine,
Yeah.
right? And so it went on, and there was a thing that I knew it was wrong, right? Like this isn't the way it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
You don't handle your problems like this. And I'm trying to be a good friend. Now I'm married,
Mhm.
right, to this girl that I'd met,
Yeah.
back in 89.
How old were you when you got married?
Oh God. We so my wife and I, just like me, I'm not normal,
Uh-huh.
right? And so my wife and I don't have a normal. We have never actually celebrated an anniversary
Okay.
because we forget. Like it'll be 3 days later, and we'll be like, "Oh man, I think we had an anniversary." So for the longest time, we couldn't remember. We had to actually look at the marriage license to remember what year.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 2012.
Okay.
So that was in the middle of my party days.
Okay.
I mean, I lived hard. I worked in construction. I'd gotten on with my uncle who put elevators in people's houses.
Oh,
And
cool.
my uncle was a hard worker, hard partier. Like
Okay.
he drank hard too.
Right.
He managed to keep it between the ditches for all the years, but he had problems too.
Mm.
So it wasn't like I didn't have ample opportunity. You know
Right.
what I mean? And so this became the way I dealt with everything. I would work hard, and I had standards, man. Like if you're working, there's no, you don't smoke reefer. You don't,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like work is work and play is play.
Exactly.
So when you're off of work, you do whatever you want,
Right.
but make sure that you're good for the next morning. Don't be coming in like hungover and still drunk, getting on a ladder 40 feet above the ground,
Right.
So I'm trying to maintain this normalcy. And my big thing was because I'd hang out at the tattoo shop, you know, when I should have been home being a husband. I'd
Mm.
be going out, getting drunk,
Okay.
hanging out with all these people. And my big thing was it's better to be top of the shit heap than the bottom of the good heap.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I can share that sentiment. I've been there before. Like,
Yeah. So
if I'm going to
I
burn it
mean,
down, I'm burning it all down.
yeah, but there was no, like, the people I was hanging out with, they had records, they all had, and I didn't. I had a wife and a house, and I'm not like struggling to find
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So I'm already socially, and this is terrible because these are good people, and it wasn't a judgment thing. It was just I was the. It was better to be the top of the bad people than the
I,
bottom of the good people.
I could see that.
Because, I got no education. I got a high school diploma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would never be looked upon as an equal to someone, in the corporate world. Right.
I get what you mean.
You see what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I'm hanging out with all these people. Everything we're doing is fine. There's no problems with that. But I start to have an issue with the rot that's growing inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, it's starting to get dark, like
Mm.
real dark. No longer is it just, I'm going to these parties and hanging out to have fun, but it's more of I'm going to do these and drink and because I can't stand who I'm becoming.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like your battery's running down,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because when you're with God, your battery's charged.
Yeah.
You get away from God, you can go a little while. Now, I mean, it's an immediate effect on your spirit to be away from him, but you're not noticing it for a little while.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can eat a big meal and go a couple days without being hungry.
Right.
Right? Same. So now my battery is played out. It's beat. And I'm feeling it. I'm trying to charge it with all this stuff from the world, right?
Yeah.
Porn, you know, had all that going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's every single thing for your senses that you could possibly do to try to live with yourself.
Yeah, and stay away from the darkness.
Right. And what you become. And it's not all, and look, I wasn't a good person, right? I mean, I would help people and I would, you know, but everything was for my advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I took advantage of people, manipulated them. No, I never stole or killed or anything like that,
Right.
but I didn't have a pure heart in what I was doing with people.
I hear you.
And so there's a hatred of yourself because of that, because you know inherently God's word, God's laws are stamped on your heart at birth. It says it in the Bible.
Right.
Like, you can't get my written word, then I'm going to put it on your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I have zero excuse for, I didn't know, right and wrong. Dude, you did. Your spirit knew. Whether you want to hear it or not.
You feel it.
Yeah. And so my spirit's dying. I am absolutely dying.
Yeah.
Inside. And so that's translating to the outside. I balloon up. I gain weight I'm 305.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting fat. I'm unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Drinking, I don't know, 36 beers in a weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going through some serious, and, you know, all the whiskey that I could possibly put down.
Yeah.
Blackout drunk, right? And it's going like this. And
it's exhausting, to tell you the truth, if I may say. It's like when you're in that cycle, you know what I mean? Because then you kind of wake up and you know that you need to change, or I knew I needed to change.
Right.
But I wasn't like ready to right then. So then I'd be like, I'll fix it next week. And then it'd be like the third week of the month. I'm like, I'll fix it next month. And then it's like the 8th week of the year. And I'm like, or 8th month of the year. And I'm like, I'll fix it. It's a perfect resolution for, you know, New Year's.
Right.
So I kept pushing it down the road, almost like trying to tell my brain that I'm going to fix it. So relax.
Right.
But I wasn't willing to do it then.
Well, it's all in that space of regret. There's a window of regret when you wake up and you're not sure if you need to call someone, because when I would get drunk, I would get violent.
Okay.
I mean, I could be.
Did it progress to that, or would
Okay. No, it didn't start out like that. I mean, it kind of did. There would be bouts of it, but as the further along I went, I would get more and more insane, like just completely insane.
Yeah.
And that all my friends, like, they got like kind of like, man, they used to call me Incredible Kev.
Could you change?
Oh yeah, dude. At the blink of an eye, and totally rage out.
Yeah.
Hulk out. And I mean, I'm a big dude.
Yeah.
And when there's no inhibition, man, the strength it's frightening.
And you're willing to die on a hill.
I
that's
am.
Very small.
It doesn't, and I would be to that point where it didn't matter.
Me too.
I don't care.
Yep.
And it got to that point with, like, I didn't put my hands on people so much as I was just
aggressive,
very aggressive. And then I would be like that with my wife. Right.
Yeah.
Like, she would be trying to talk to me, and I mean, traumatically so. I mean, for years and years. Right. So I would consider that a form of abuse, you know?
Okay.
Like, I abused my wife mentally, or emotional abuse, because when I wasn't drinking, I was depressed. And I had tried everything I could do. So I went to a doctor, a head doctor. I don't know which one it is, they call it, that they prescribed me pills, right? Okay. Antidepressants and mood stabilizers.
Yeah.
Diagnosed me with bipolar 2, which I didn't even know was a thing, because my mom's bipolar, right?
Okay.
That's the mental part that's, you know, trickling down.
Okay.
So she was bipolar, maybe some other stuff, but I'm not sure, and I don't want to say, you know, if it's not true, but some other things manic,
I got
like
you.
super,
Yeah. Yeah, I get
very,
it.
very, like all of a sudden you're there and then you ain't.
Yeah.
So I'm having this. So I'm taking these pills. This is me trying to deal with these problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, I'm doing what the book says, in the world's guide to fixing yourself.
Yep.
Start taking the mood stabilizers and the antidepressants, and I just disappeared.
Really?
So 0 personality,
Just mute.
completely just like autopilot, didn't care, had no emotion, which since birth, I am a very animated person,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
Yeah.
what I'm saying, what I'm doing, animated all the way. And now I'm just this zombie robot.
Yeah.
And so my uncle doing elevators with him, and I'm still drinking, but I'm not drinking a ton, and I don't think I'm getting super drunk. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But my uncle, like one day, I think we were out of town because we do a lot on the road, and we're out of town in these seedy hotels that we'd be in, and he just slapped me. I mean, like hard, slapped me in the face. And I was like, man, what'd you do that for? He's like, ha, that's exactly it. The Kevin that I know would have beat my ass into the dirt for slapping him for no reason. Look at you, man. Where
Yeah.
are you? And I was like, all right. I quit taking the pills.
Okay.
Quit taking the pills. So then it comes back. I mean, now I'm really drinking, right? Because I haven't solved any problems.
Yeah.
Because
the edge comes back.
Right. And I
Yeah.
knew, like, this isn't right. This isn't the solution. So I've got a list that's years long of trying to fix myself,
Mm.
right? I'm drinking. Now I'm to the point where I know I'm drinking too much and I'm doing all this stuff and I need to throttle it back. But now I can't,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm like, all right, well, I'll only buy a 6-pack.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, it's tall boys.
Yeah.
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 Ain't nobody drink 12 ounces, man.
Get the 16 ounce. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're tall boys. And once they're done with that, I'm starting to find it now. I'm like, all right, well, I'll walk across the street to the gas station, that was next to the tattoo shop, and I'm drinking more. So it's not working.
Right. That's the exact thing that happened with that's such a classic. It's like, I'll just have one.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well I've already started with one.
Yeah,
what is two? And then it's like, well, I've had two. What's four?
Right.
You're like, I won't drink after tonight. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
it quickly,
Right.
for me, would fall apart.
Yeah, because I have this, I'm a 100% or nothing person.
Yeah.
I'm either awake or I'm asleep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
no in between. And I always believed that moderation was for pussies. If you're going to do something, you go 100% to your last breath.
What's even funnier is I thought I was good at drinking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I can do a 12 and fucking
Yeah.
half a fifth. Like,
Right.
what are you punks doing?
Right.
And so that was like the way we kind of grew up drinking.
Right.
And then we reached an age where the majority of people got married and got sober.
Right.
And everyone else was kind of like, well, I'm just going to keep going. And I was one of those guys that went into law enforcement, like all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's funny how that works when you're around people.
Yeah, and I would live at the pub.
Yeah.
Like I would be at the pub all the time. Wife at home. Right. Now we didn't have our son at that time.
Right.
And so it was okay for me to justify it, right? We didn't, that's fine. But I would always be at the pub. And I would remember, and this is in my early 30s, right? So maybe 30 years old. Now I'm 47. And I would remember like that one guy who's like 50 something years old, still living like he's 30.
Yeah.
Getting trashed, thinking he's the life of the party,
Yeah.
But he's just a buffoon, just some drunk old guy.
And you're like, am I that guy now?
Well, and that's where I started getting here these last,
Yeah.
6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
I realized that I was that guy.
Okay.
And so it kept going to the point where I realized I couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
Like the machine, it was like a runaway diesel.
Yeah.
Right? There's the only way to stop a runaway diesel is to cut the airflow.
Okay.
right? Because once it'll just ramp up RPMs until it destroys itself. That's
Oh.
where I was. And I mean, it's chugging smoke. I'm going, now I have a son. This is 13 years ago. I have a son, or 14 years ago. Son is born, right? And I'm still having problems. He's an infant. And so I'm like, well, he's a baby. He doesn't know.
Right.
I can keep doing this, smoking reefer, whatever, right? I can keep going on this path. And he's getting older. Right now he's 5 years old. And he's looking to dad, but dad's not there. Dad's at the pub, right? Or
Yeah.
dad is there and dad doesn't care because he's drinking. The weekends were mine.
Yeah.
I don't care what you guys do, but I'm having some friends over, or I'm just going to sit here and drink my beer.
Yeah.
And be.
That's the plan.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Yep.
If I cook some meat, you can have some.
Yep.
And it breaks my heart just saying that, because it's so wrong.
Well, that's because you're able now to look back as a grown adult and be accountable for things.
Right. Well, and I knew then too, but I would just drown it out.
Yeah.
Right. Because I knew this wasn't right. And it's almost like sometimes you have these moments of clarity, like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
I would have this in the middle of rage. I would be on the outside of myself and be horrified looking at me like, what are you doing, Kevin? But not being able to stop it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
You're like watching, you're like, what has become of me?
Right.
And I know what you mean.
So this continued on for, up until, well, let me fix this and then I'll say.
So you're kind of like in the trap. You're kind of like, I have to get off of this ride, but you're not sure how.
I'm slowly realizing that I have no power.
That's scary. That's scary.
And for someone who's a control freak, who fine tunes everything, because I have the ability to see any circumstance from a 30,000 foot view.
Yeah.
And put all the pieces together, calculate obvious or possible variables in a scenario that could hinder the plan, and fine tune the plan
to avoid those. Yeah.
Any and all costs, and also have the ability to be fluid in the plan's execution, to move if need be.
Yeah.
And we do this, right? So I am this is no problem, right?
Yeah.
I can plan anything, get it done, execute it perfectly.
Yeah.
Except myself. I have no control.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to realize that it's starting to take me over, and I'm becoming someone that I don't think I want to be. And I can't stop it.
That's scary.
Oh, it was horrifying.
I've been there. Yeah.
It was absolutely horrifying.
It's one of the scariest moments of your life.
And it didn't hit me hard until the end, because my entire life I had been building this person and this kingdom upon what I thought I should be.
Okay.
Right? I should be tough. Right? Okay, so I'm going to build that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be that person. Even if it's contrary to how you're made.
Mm-hmm.
Right? God didn't design you to be what you think you should be. And so however you build that is going to be wrong in who you really are. And so there's going to be conflict, and that's why you have to drink. That's why you have to plug into something else.
Yeah.
Because you're never meant to be this person. And so now you are. And you can't live with yourself because it's so contrary to what God had made you to be, right?
Yeah.
And you don't know that it's not permanent. It is permanent in your power.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do anything about it. And I tried.
Yeah.
Tried to stop. Tried to will my way through it, right? Because I am that person. One foot in front of the other. I will not stop. I will not give up.
Yep.
We will continue. It doesn't matter how hard it is. If we're dragging pieces of our bodies, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so
I will not quit. I will beat this. Yeah.
And I will beat this. I will make myself.
Yep.
And so what kind of what it was like is putting all of your stuff on that you had created, that you had built, all of your sin, all of who you weren't meant to be, putting it on your back, walking up a muddy hill while it's raining,
Mm-hmm.
one foot in front of the other.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can just make it to where that little crag is, I can sit down for a second,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you sit. Well, I got to keep going because it's a one-day thing, right? It's every single day, every moment of the day. You can fall back into this is you trying to change yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? I got all this stuff. I'm trying to change myself. I'm going to do it right. Willpower, discipline,
Mm-hmm.
me. You keep going. Next day, misstep. You slide all the way back down to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to pick all your stuff up again and start walking up the mountain. And there it becomes maddening because you never make it.
Mm-hmm.
You never make it.
Yeah.
All you are is just trying.
That's a lot of, I can do it. Screwed it up.
Right. It's like
screwed it up.
it's like Steve Martin in Three Amigos.
Yeah.
When he's hooked to the chains. I don't know if you guys watch that, but
I love Three Amigos.
Gonna make it, gonna make it, gonna make it. And he's trying to get to the handle, and he, of course, he gets thrown back to the wall.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That was my life, and
Yeah.
I did that for years, and all the while, my marriage is degrading. My wife, who growing up, we grew up together,
Right.
like high school. We kind of dated in high school and stuff, and I was her hero.
Mm-hmm.
I was the strong dude that, doesn't fail, doesn't do anything. She married me, and it turns out that she, what she has is this terrible person that's destroying her heart.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Now we have a kid.
Yeah.
Like things are getting real bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so 5 years ago on March, I believe it's March 24th, 5 years ago, I came to that spot
Mm-hmm.
of realizing I was half a handle of vodka, and I started drinking at 9 a.m. that morning, because my uncle, he was old, and we didn't have a lot of elevators, so we would work a couple days a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a lot of time that I wasn't doing anything, and he's since died, and that's how I have this business now.
Okay.
But I would just wake up and start drinking because kids at school, wife's working.
Yeah.
So I'm half a handle of vodka in, drinking all day, didn't eat nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm feeling like this is it. I'm riding this train until it goes. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you reach a point you're like, fuck it, I'll burn it all down.
and I can't do this anymore. So wife comes home. It's kind of hazy because I was so drunk, but we start getting in an argument, and she wants me to stop drinking. She's begging me to please stop drinking. And she's scared because she sees something in me,
Mm-hmm.
and she's scared. And I come to that point where I'm grabbing my revolver because I really realized at that moment, I'm out of options, man. My checklist that I started years ago to try to help myself with, go to therapy, go to this, go to that. I'm at the bottom of the page, and there ain't nothing more written. I'm done, man. This is it. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Out of answers.
And I thought, because I went to church all them years ago, I thought that I was, had been saved.
Mm-hmm.
And where was God?
Yeah.
So I'm in the middle of getting my pistol out, Like, and I'm not one of the, I'm 100% on or off. There's no indecision here, man. This is
Right.
it. This is what we're doing. And just Jesus showed up. Like, I'm not kidding, man. Like, it wasn't, I called out to God and told him, like, this is what I'm doing.
Hmm.
Help me.
Hmm.
Because I know it's wrong. I don't want to do it. But I got no other choice here, man.
Yep.
And I cried out to him. And Jesus showed up at that crossroads. I remember I was in my garage, but I was on a road that had a crossroads, and I was going to go left with the pistol. And Jesus showed up with me, grabbed my hand, and pulled me to come with me. You don't need this.
That's beautiful.
You don't need to do this. Come with me. And it wasn't even close, man. I dropped the gun.
Yeah.
And there was no, like, asking, like, are you sure, you know?
Yeah.
I just turned and went with him.
Mm.
He said, follow me.
Yeah. One of the coolest things I've heard recently is Jesus is the one who comes down the hill to grab you,
That's right.
and that you don't have to do these worldly things to get to him or the accomplishments. What you're talking about is so profound.
He said in the Bible, come as you are.
Mm.
Because the problem with men, us, is we think that we need to clean ourselves up.
Yep.
In order to meet Jesus.
Yep.
Right? Like, you're not going to take a shower to get cleaned through Jesus, right? Because you can't.
Right.
There's nothing you can do to clean yourself. He says, come as you are. And so I did. And I came. So, all right. So this is what happened. I get this idea. I mean, boom, my bell is rung.
Mm-hmm.
There is something welling up inside of me. My spirit is full now of Jesus, right? Like God.
Quickly.
Well, like instantly, there was so that mountain we were talking about climbing with all my gear, all my crap, all my everything, right? Was gone. There was no weight on me. There was no hatred of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so my wife's mom had been, she was always going to church, right? She'd been praying for me. My mom's praying for me. And so I call, and I'm hungover, man. I'm still, like, I don't know what's going on. It's the next day. And so I call her mom and I say, I need to meet with your preacher. Right. And so a couple days later, I meet with him.
Were you panicked in that moment? Like, I got to talk to someone about this?
Yeah, only because I need to make sure that this goes forward.
Okay.
That this isn't just a something and I fall back into, like, there was a hunger and a need to get this done. Because it hadn't been completely done yet. Right. There was some stuff that still needed to be, and it needed to be with a mature Christian that understood what I was going through. And it's kind of the chrysalis is formed, right? Yeah. And, you know, the butterfly is going to come out.
Yeah.
And so I met with the preacher, and it was 2 hours of just praying. Immediately devoted my life back to God. Repented for, and there's a repentance of realizing of where I just was and that I was unable. This is the key. That I was completely unable to change myself, completely powerless to stop the machine. But the machine was stopped. The wind was calmed. The waves had died down. And it was because of Jesus. And so there's a something that true repentance, and then you see clearly the scales fell from my eyes. I could see who I really was in that sin and that rot. And then I could see how pure I had been made, right, through Jesus. Like he had instantly redeemed me. No, here's your ticket, punch it. No, man,
Yeah.
like instantly. And so the repentance that I had was so overwhelming because of the gratefulness that I had been like saved, but not in the saved like you see on the billboard or what you think about it. Like I had been saved. All I remember is hearing my name and then me waking up and walking out of the tomb that I was in. The death, the sin that had me.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know I was dead,
Mm-hmm.
but I
That's the
heard my
scary
name
thing. You heard your
and I
name.
woke up and I walked out of the tomb just like Jesus. That was the precursor, Jesus doing that, and that happening with Jesus to show that this is what's happening to every single one of us who call on his name,
Yeah.
and he comes down and delivers us. He calls each one of our names, and we wake up
Yeah.
and walk out of the tomb. Jesus was the first to do it.
Mm. New life.
And that's every single one of us. And I'm not sure about other people because I told you before that I thought I was normal. I thought everybody was like me, right? I don't know if you have to get to that point of complete desperation, but I think you do. Because there has to be the willingness to lay yourself on the altar and say, God, I can't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
sacrifice yourself and take nothing with you. And so
That's key right there. Take nothing with you.
well, and that's why, and I'm so glad that God made me a 100% person, because I didn't go up to the altar and lay all of this stuff, but I wanted to keep that.
Mm.
There was nothing, I understood and realized that there was nothing in my possession that had ever or could ever help me
Mm.
live, be a person, nothing.
Yeah.
And so when my eyes are opened, I see that this kingdom, this person that I had built was dirt. It was a shack on a hill made of horse shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I do.
through the bad eyes, through your eyes that are not redeemed, you see it as something. And that's the beauty of what Satan's deal,
Mm.
because he'll make it look like it's something it ain't.
Mm.
So to me, it was a wonderful palace, I mean, look at this, what I built here.
Yeah.
Look at this. But when the scales are pulled and you actually see it, because it's in comparison with the holiness of God and the perfection of God and what he meant you to be, you see it for what it is.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, it's terrible. It's the worst. I mean, it's a shack. It's awful.
Yeah.
And it is not what God has for you.
Right.
And so my eyes were open. So I'm going to this preacher, right? And we're praying. And I've got, because of my family's history, right? And he told me this is like and I'm a fringe person. I'm like kind of half crazy anyway,
Okay.
because I love that God is like that, like John the Baptist out to lunch, right? But
Yeah.
was he? Aha, see?
Right.
And so some of these things that he told me, he's like, most Christians can't really understand this,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just going to throw it out there because it was something that was on me, because of what my grandparents and their parents and all through the line. You see, in the Bible, God curses witchcraft,
Mm-hmm.
and your family's family for many, many generations if you dabble in witchcraft.
Okay.
Right? And so I'm not going to name the organizations.
Okay.
but they're very popular, very common
Mm-hmm.
organizations that, I mean, we can off camera if you want, man.
Yeah, sure.
That it's kind of do-gooder, right? You think you're doing good,
Yeah.
and it has the idea of God in it,
Mm-hmm.
but it turns out it's witchcraft, right? And so all of that, we had to pray to break these curses, because my
Really?
pastor is spirit-filled. So he is, I mean, I'm there. God is with us. I mean, in a huge way. I can hardly sit there. The power of God is just so great. And he is tearing this stuff out.
Wow.
He's tearing this out of me. All the hate, all the self-loathing.
It's amazing when that happens. That's actually an experience when you feel it almost like coming out of you. You're like letting it go. You're almost like purging it. It's almost like you're puking it.
But you're not doing anything.
I know. It's really weird. Yeah, it's really weird.
And I couldn't do anything to change that. So I couldn't get that out of me, right?
Right.
But it's coming out. And I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. You will never convince me that God does not exist. Because if he is true, and his word says that if you call out to me, I will deliver you.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that.
Yeah.
Then the rest of it's true.
Yeah. He's everything or he's nothing.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a total transformation. I could not get enough word.
Mm-hmm.
I asked the preacher, who do I need to listen to? Right? And so he gave me a list of people to just start listening to, like podcasts and whatever. Michael Youssef, one of them. There was another one, I can't remember. He's like old school, but he's a like Cambridge scholar that came to God.
Okay.
And so he's very like literal and the Bible is very literal.
Yeah.
By the way, if it says to do something, do it.
Yeah.
Right. And so I just can't get enough, and I'm feeding my spirit. And because I am the kind of person I am 100%, and that I know 100% that I couldn't do it, because I went to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Was about to bite a bullet, right? This is the end. I cannot do it. I'm out of options.
Yep.
And then God saved me, pulled me out of that, completely transformed who I am, took all of the hate, all of the sin, everything that I did. Man, I quit drinking. I don't even want it. There's
That's
not
amazing.
even a thing. So drinking was obviously the big thing, right? And so for another year, I'd still hit the reefer, right?
Yeah.
And one day I'm outside, and I'm down to the bottom of the bag. You know, I'm kind of debating, I don't need to get some more or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm standing outside, leaning against my truck, and I just hear Jesus like, so why are you still smoking that? Why are you smoking that? I was like, well, I have anxiety and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, do you? Do you?
Mm.
And well, no, I don't guess I do. I haven't for about a year.
Yeah.
Because it's all been changed.
Yeah.
So immediately just set it down, never picked it up again.
That's amazing.
I didn't need it. So
that's a moment of clarity that you were talking about.
Well, it was not just the clarity with my mind, but it was my spirit not needing these one-dimensional false remedies.
Yeah.
Right?
Like plugs to a ship.
Right. Because I don't need it. I don't need to drink anymore.
Right.
Because God is now filling that space that we were talking about that I'm trying to fill up, charge my battery, right?
Yep.
My battery's charged. Why would I don't need this.
Right.
If you don't need it, why you have it around?
I think people get caught in the idea of just like the habit at that point. You know what I mean? They're like, well, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
Like at this time of day, this is what I do. So you got to change a lot of stuff.
But it wasn't when you let God change you, you'll just see things just fall away. You don't have to, but you have to be 100% willing and open your hands. So you remember the commercial back in the day, the Nestea Plunge?
Maybe. Which one was that?
Where it's just a dude or a woman standing at the edge of the pool with their hand out and they just fall backwards into the pool. It's
Sure.
called the Nestea plunge, right?
Okay.
And it was about, I guess, sweet tea or something.
Yeah.
I've always thought about that as that is what I do every day with God.
Yeah.
Is I just fall back, hands open, completely naked. I'm not hanging on to anything, just falling back
Trust fall.
and believing. Because why would he save me if what, are you going to let me go now? Should have let me eat the bullet then. No. That's not what he has plans.
Yeah.
He has plans for his kingdom, and I'm part of it. However, don't know.
And isn't it funny how that angle, that view, that idea doesn't come like right away? It's like there's transformation.
Yeah.
You're continuously being like, I have faith. I'm giving it to you. I'm giving
That's
it to
it.
you. And stuff starts falling away, like you were just saying. I heard one time, and it makes a lot of sense. It can be scary sometimes, especially if you're at the very beginning, but your new life with God will cost you your old life.
Yes. And so
And what I mean by that is the things that we thought we were, the shack on the hill, that
Right.
now you're able to see, the toys, the guns, the boats, the cars, all this kinds of stuff.
right.
You actually realize it never really belonged to you. You know, they were just
Right.
things you're acquiring down the line. They weren't plugging the hole that you were trying to plug.
That's right. That's right.
Then God shows up, says, you don't need any of this.
Right.
This is all distraction. This is all your efforts. Great job. Good try. But I'm the only thing that can fill
Right. And if I didn't have a lot of stuff, right? It's things, I think because of how I grew up, I was more attached to people.
that. Okay.
I would need people
Mhm.
in order to either validate myself or fill some kind of hole of that abandonment or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor, man.
I
I
got
don't
you.
know. But there's something tangible there. And I would be like unusually best friends with certain people, right? Like I would pour
Yeah.
my heart out
Yeah.
and like really latch on to them.
Yeah.
And when I quit drinking and all this, I had my best friend tell me before this happened that you don't have a drinking problem. You know, you have a something inside of you problem, but it's not the drinking, because he was my drinking buddy,
Yeah.
right? So he didn't want me to not drink with him because then he didn't have nobody to drink with.
Right.
And that broke my heart, right? Because I thought he was
Yeah.
and if I'll tell you off,
And you
off
assume
camera.
that the people who love you want the best for you.
Right, especially him,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I lost my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have a lot of friends at this point. I kind of realized, and like you were saying, everybody grew up and they either died from overdoses or, grew out of it and they have their own families and they're just off grid, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't see nobody because
Yeah.
you got kids to raise, you ain't going anywhere.
Right.
So I didn't have any friends. And so my friend, I just lost them. They went away. I had nothing in common with them. And we tried to hang out and it was like the most awkward thing on the planet.
Yeah.
We got nothing in common anymore, dude. And I think it's, there may be an amount of conviction that comes around when you hang out with me, that there's just something, because I want to talk about God the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I want to tell you about Jesus. And
they're like, shut up.
Right. Yeah, because I ain't no barstool preacher. I'm not going to be drinking
Right.
and then telling you about Jesus. Oh, he's done such good for me.
Yeah.
Well, really, pal?
Yeah.
You look it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I lost everything on that, and that was really hard.
Yeah.
Like that was almost harder than quitting reefer and all that. Like as far as just being able to live without it, because I'd had that.
It is very hard losing those friends. And it's really because, and what's interesting, and you just really hit it on the head, is like people are so used to seeing you a particular way.
Right.
And when you break out of that mold for your own good, it shifts who you are.
That's it.
And so sometimes people react with hate because they're like, who do you think you are?
Yeah,
What they're really thinking
you're
is
better than us.
yeah, but
Right.
that's a true reflection of how they feel about themselves.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
So like they're basically just telling you straight out of the gates, I can't go with you wherever you're going.
Right.
And they'll make fun of it or do whatever, but the true walk does involve leaving some people behind.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that you're not part of the story anymore, because I'm sure there's plenty of your friends who watched you go do that, who then found strength or courage, or at least some sort of inkling, maybe there's some power to this.
Yeah.
If he's willing to walk away and he's got his drinking under control, he's handling his family. I want that, but I don't know if I'm capable of that. And I'm not willing to leave behind the things that are making me feel good right now.
So I think it was such a, not violent, but extreme. It's almost like a small nuclear explosion with just a light.
Yeah.
I think it scared everybody.
Right.
Like to the point where they got frightened out. Like, I don't know, man.
I've learned this, that if you shine bright and you're illuminating, you want to talk about God, what happens is the light comes in the room and it shines in dark places that people are trying to hide.
Right.
So it's a weird thing that happens. You're actually like, it's tough because sometimes it feels like you're walking alone, but you're walking with God.
Right.
And you're really rolling with him. You found the faith, you know what I mean? Like you've found the freedom, the hole's been filled. There's, you know, I mean, it's tangible now. This is real. This isn't like a hypothesis. Could this be real or not? It's like, it's tangible now. And I think that can scare some people who are not yet there. They're like at the beginning of that journey.
Well, and that's the thing, is that fear is going to keep you to a certain point.
Yeah.
Until you're so desperate that it doesn't matter. You're going to run out in the gunfire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going to, who cares about the fear? I need something. I need it. That is the point at which God shows up.
Yeah. It's when the pain of the situation you're in is greater than the fear of trying the unknown.
It has to be a desperation.
Yeah.
You know,
for me, definitely for me.
That's the way God works, because you cannot, this is a gift that God has given us, right? Because of Adam and all the sin and all the history of mankind.
Yeah.
We cannot be near God as we are. He's so pure, so holy, so righteous that you can't mix it. He can't even be around us.
Yeah.
Right. And so he gave us this gift through Jesus, who was holy, righteous, took on all of what we did and died for it. Right? Devil took his life. Ha! I got you. Well, devil didn't really have any legal claim to him because he hadn't sinned. So that's the reason Jesus was able to come back.
Yeah.
Right? Because he had nothing on him. That gift is free. To a point. The only thing is you have to give yourself. You can't have both. You can't hang on to self and get this gift from God. It's a trade. You have to sacrifice. You have to, and that's the hardest, scariest thing to do, because it's all we know. It's who we are. It's our, I don't believe in safe spaces except inside of God, but you know what I mean? Like, this is who we are, who we become. This is our familiarity with everything. And you're asking me to give it. So God knows how hard that is.
Yeah.
And it's that faith.
Yeah.
Okay, God, you said to give it. Here you go. Open your hands. And immediately, boom. He doesn't let you down. He doesn't take your faith and play with it.
Yeah.
Right? But you have to be willing to give yourself. And
which is like a trust fall, like you were talking about before.
It is.
You have to basically do the trust fall.
It is.
And then when you feel him catch you on the way down, it's the greatest thing that could ever freaking happen.
Right, because it's the entirety of yourself, all this stuff that you thought you couldn't, and then you see who you are in him, and you feel his love even though you were the worst person, you know, you would have never reciprocated this kind of love. And you feel that and you see it. It's the greatest. Wow. Like, I can't believe that me, nobody, right? God saw that and says, you know what? I'm putting my hand on you. You're worth saving. And so our family, the dynamic changed almost overnight.
Wow.
So my wife is doing all the stuff that I'm supposed to be doing, right? Because in the Bible, there's a hierarchy, a pecking order, if you will, of how a family should work.
Yeah.
The man is the head of the household. So the chain of command is the man reports to Jesus. Jesus reports to the Father, right? Yeah. And then the wife reports to the man, the child, dog, not sure.
Yeah.
But that dynamic had been screwed up. And so the family dynamic was out of whack. And once that structure's out of whack, everything's wrong in the house. The wife has to become someone she's not. Never was built to be the head of the house. So she's not supposed to. 180-degree turn, man. I mean, the entirety. I was like, and I talked to the preacher. I said, all right, I need to be the man of the house now. What do I do? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And it's not like a submissive type thing.
Yeah.
It's a symbiotic relationship that man and woman have with each other. And it's not like you're under me.
Right.
When God made Eve for Adam, he made him a helper. That is, Eve is a helper. My wife is my helper.
Yeah.
Right? So once that dynamic had straightened out and everything had gone, the current could flow. We devoted the house and everything we own to God Almighty.
Awesome.
The one true God. Devoted God, if you want it for your purpose, you take it. I don't care. And I had never understood what faith is. And I'm sure it's going to get tested now that I'm talking about this, because it's been a week and a half of my faith being tested, just coming up to this point.
Wow.
Of where we're talking to each other. There is nothing. I don't care, because I've been on that side of trying to do it myself. I don't care. God will take care of me no matter what it looks like in front of me. God is there with me. He's already 1,000 of my choices down the road had planted whatever he wants there.
Yeah.
As a blessing, this is his plan. So you do with me what you want. I don't care. I have nothing that I can give you that is worth what you've given me.
There's such a freedom to when you've actually absorbed that all the way. And even in your shitty moments, you can say, I am exactly where I'm supposed to be per Jesus.
That's right.
Per God. Because
right.
This is part of the crafting of me to get to the next decision, to get to the next decision, to get to the next decision.
Right.
And I'm not going to get them all right. Especially a guy like me. I learn a lot by trial and error.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm going to break it and then try to fix it, and then break it and try to fix it. And I'll try to come up with a new way to fix it and like make it better or something like that. But I end up just mucking it up.
Right.
You know?
Right. And that's where that scripture that though you may stumble, you will not fall.
Yeah.
You know, because the fallen, right? The fallen is back in that tomb.
Yeah.
You will not fall. You will not go back to where you came from. You will stumble. And you'll muck it up, make the bad decisions, do it often.
Yeah.
But he will not allow us to go back to where we came from. He's got us.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And I'm never gonna stop talking about it. And there's so much depth to him.
Did you ever think you'd be speaking with such gratitude? Because I hear myself sometimes talking about like, I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful for everything that was taken. I'm grateful for being shot and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. And sometimes I'm like, whoa, dude, like I used to be like the biggest like victim. Honestly, I was for a long period of time. I was like, the world sucks.
Yeah, look what
everyone
it's done to
sucks. Me. Yeah, like that sort of
stuff.
Look at
me.
I believed it. You know what I mean? Like I believed it 100%.
Well, and that's part of the curse.
Yeah.
right? Because I came to realize that there are only two gods in this world. There is the one true God, God of Abraham and Isaac, and self.
Yeah.
Everything that we do outside of God is for ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? So all these other religions, what does it do? Makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So everything is for feeling and
Yeah.
emotional happiness, or you go through these rituals that make you feel like you're doing, but it's not your spirit, right? It's up here. It's this carnal mind.
Yeah.
People will be like, well, your God was alcohol. No, my God was myself using alcohol as an idol,
Yeah.
a false idol,
Well
right?
said. Yeah.
To do whatever I could, do the stuff that I couldn't do. That God is the only placeholder of your spirit. He is the only one that fits. He's the only one that has a key to that lock.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're either worshiping God or you're worshiping self. That there's no two ways about it. And if you look at it with that simplicity and actually ask God to show you and be very deliberate about it, be very like, I really want this, God. I really want you to show me yourself. And don't leave him alone until he does.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And show me this. Show me, where is this? Where am I self? Show yourself to me.
Yeah.
Because we cannot worship. You'll never get to heaven through yourself.
No.
Right?
No.
And it's only through Christ. That is it. There's no other way.
You hit a lot of cool things in that. You said one thing was, well, part of what I heard is like, I think that we've all got the impression that we're always supposed to be feeling good.
Yeah.
So when we're not feeling good, I think the world has told us, well, that's a problem. Go find something that's going to make you feel good.
Right.
While God teaches through suffering.
That's right.
And so it's like we've been cutting the lessons out of the suffering and replacing it with things of the world like alcohol,
Right.
drugs,
Right.
sex, pornography, whatever it is, for good feelings.
Yeah, and I think
I think some people are so disillusioned by it now that if they're not feeling good, that they think that something's wrong.
Right.
When it could be the exact opposite. It could be one of those moments when God literally has his hand on you. I had to learn a lot of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not being picked on. What if I'm being picked?
Right.
Like, what if this gets me what if this is the practice that's 2 weeks before the big game that is the deciding factor between the two teams? Whoever goes hardest, you know what I mean? So it's interesting. There's so many angles that open up when you start bringing faith and Christ in.
It's never comfortable being reshapen,
right?
Being sculpted, things being taken off of you. Now, and this is way past, just the interchange of the spirit, right? Of who you are. Now there's things that you either think have ingrained in you that are incorrect or not parallel with what God is or who he is. So he's going to have to start changing this.
Yeah.
And depending on how rebellious you want to be is how uncomfortable you're going to be. Because if you're fighting against God, and this is so stupid, right? Because I have this thing where I'm not going to argue with God.
Right.
Argue with God.
Right.
The one who created this, saved me. Well, are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, I want you to get rid of this, Kevin. I don't know about that. Are you sure? But...
And then negotiation comes in.
Right.
How about you do that, and then I'll do this?
No, I'm not doing that because I have no standing.
Right.
Completely broken. I have nothing to negotiate with. I have nothing to say back and wonder, and all of my wisdom at the end of my sheet of paper with a bullet, and say, all right, well, maybe, no, that's not right. We're not going to do it that way. We're going to do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
I have no standing with him to even come close to arguing. Obedience is the key to a relationship with God, a long-term, growing relationship. It's that obedience. So I got to share this, and I don't know where this came from. This was like at the beginning of the year. I like my PlayStation. I play some PlayStation,
Okay.
right? Play Hell Let Loose.
Okay.
It's a great World War II war simulator, right? Okay, so I'm sitting there, and we have this dog I was telling you about, it's Doberman, right?
Mhm.
And I'll have him laying next to me, and he'll be on place, right? Sometimes on this game, I get a little rowdy, and I'm yelling at it some, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And scares the dog, and he will break place.
Yeah.
And then I will, why? So I'm yelling at the dog too. I'm like, why do you always get up? And I had this boom hit me in the spirit. Fear will cause believers to disobey, thinking that it's justified because of the
Mm.
situation they're in, and therefore will leave the will of God and be on their own outside of God's protection.
Because of fear.
Same thing the dog did. The dog knew that he needs to stay there.
Yeah.
Command was given, told. I start yelling. Fear breaks the obedience. Right?
Yeah.
But it's not a disobedience of like you willingly knew, like dad told you to be home at 9.
Right.
And
you're
you're
like,
rolling
I'll
in
get
at
home at
noon,
10. Yeah.
rolling in at midnight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you knew, dude.
Yeah.
You knew 100%. Not like that. This is what screws us up as Christians. We feel justified in fear to disobey. It's okay because you were afraid. Oh, God will understand. I was afraid.
Mm.
No.
That's pretty.
Obedience is the key.
Yeah.
The faith comes in the midst of the fear. You stand and obey whatever God has told you.
Yeah.
In the midst of that fear, you stand and obey. That is where the faith is. That is where God shields you with his right hand.
And it does feel like, I don't know what the hell you're doing, God. I mean, in your mind, it's going to come across there. But then the last sentence is, but I'm going to do it anyways.
That's right.
And then you do it, and then all of a sudden fruits start appearing from that thing that you really didn't want to do and you believed could have harmed you.
My favorite line in the Bible is when Jesus was praying in the garden, take this cup from me. Take this cup. I mean, it's got to be so hard knowing you're going to die for all the, you didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
My favorite line is, nevertheless, your will be done. No matter what, nevertheless, don't worry about me. I'm just, please, if you can, but your will be done.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why I'm here, like why we're doing this. I don't know who needs to hear this.
Mm-hmm.
I do know, and I wanted to touch on this because we talked about it in my driveway, about these programs like AA, NA, people trying to help themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that I'm not against that.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, that's my list that I was doing, taking all my stuff on, walking up the hill, the muddy mountain.
Yeah.
Humankind will never be able to change themselves. And so I was listening to Rogan. He had Chad Wright on there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know.
Yeah, he lives in Rome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So listening to him and his crazy eyes and his beard, I was like, man, I got to meet that dude.
Yeah.
Because we're the same. Like he had that incredible encounter.
Yeah.
And he called it. I couldn't change the inside of myself. So I want whoever's listening, watching this, you can't change yourself from the inside.
Right.
All these programs.
Yeah.
They may, I don't know. I only speak from me, and there was no program I could have done that would have affected this sort of change.
I've seen programs. I ended up in AA just because my therapist told me I had to, or she was going to stop
Mine was
working with me.
court ordered.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I ended up in AA. I tried to do it on my own.
Yeah.
I tried to do it on my own 100%. A lot of times they call that white knuckling it. Like, I'm just here for the sobriety and not any of this other BS, especially when that's like they start talking about a higher power.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, there is no higher power.
Right.
And I would go face to face, toe to toe with guys willing to scrap about it.
Right.
And then they looked at me one day and they go, fine, that chair sitting next to you is your higher power. And I'm like, why is that, old man? He's like, because that chair's making better decisions than you are right now. I'm like,
slap.
Damn. All right. So
yeah, all right.
but then when the rubber hit the road, it wasn't about AA. It was that night where I was in total just desperation, on fire with pain. It felt like at the precipice of like, I was at that moment of like, I couldn't imagine drinking anymore because it was going to kill me, but I also couldn't imagine not drinking, you know,
because you got nothing else.
Right. And I thought life was going to be boring forever. But the one thing I had to make sure is I didn't kill myself drinking after being shot in the head, because I didn't want to cross over the next time and be like, sorry about that. You know what I mean? Like, you gave me this borrowed time and I did that, you know? So anyways, it wasn't that easy, but I hit the ground one night and I had a huge void inside of me. I didn't know it either. And that's the problem, is like when you're going through it, you know there's something there,
right?
But you assume everyone else has it,
right?
And that they're dealing with it just the same.
Right.
And I'm strong. And then you look around and you go, I'm stronger than these people. That's unfortunately the way I was. You know, I mean, I'm like, I can outwill any of these people, you know. And I just got to a point where my will wasn't going to do it.
That's right.
I was dying. It felt like I was going to freaking blow up. And then I did what I was told. And I was just like, fine. You know what I mean? If it's my last thing.
Yeah.
Like if you literally think you're about to die, I love the quote of, when the pain of the situation that you're in exceeds the fear of the unknown, that's when you move. That's that's where I was. I was like, God, if you're there, I need you to, and like angry.
Yeah. Right.
And I wrestled with God for like a couple hours and he showed up and things changed quickly. And I don't know what happened, but I just wanted more of it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to like jinx it. I didn't want to put it under a microphone or a microscope or anything like that. I just didn't want it to stop.
Right.
So I found myself desperate enough to take a lot of action on things I wasn't willing to do before. And I was so desperate to get out of where I was finally. You know what I mean? It wasn't... Because we could make weird excuses for staying in things that hurt us. I went into the jail here and I interviewed some guys, and I heard one of the most profound things I've ever heard. And he said, when I was running and gunning, selling meth, doing dope, you know, making enough money to party that night, but he goes, I thought that was comfortable.
Yeah.
He goes, I truly thought that was what comfort was. So I had to do the other stuff to get that comfort. And he goes, now I realize it was just a trap.
Right.
It was just a cycle that I kept going, running around. And I'm surrounded, he also acknowledged, by unhealthy people who are also doing the same thing.
Exactly.
And so I'm seeing them do it, which gives me the impression that this is the way that this works, you know, and why wouldn't I do it?
Yeah.
And, you know, they find themselves in situations where they thought they were comfortable and all of a sudden now they feel trapped.
Right.
That's what alcohol did to me.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
The trap.
It like closed on me. And 1 second I thought I could will it and be like, I can beat this at any time. Yeah. Middle finger to anybody.
Right.
To a point of like, oh, that's scary. Yeah. When you've run out of you.
That's exactly it. And that's where I'm not going to live like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to check out. And it broke my heart, because as I'm doing it, I see my son growing up, no father, kind of same, that abandoned, you know what I mean? That same trail.
Yeah.
Where this family curse continues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I have to see that and make this decision, and I did it anyway. Like in my head, I was ready to go. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's how selfish, right? That's how selfish I had become, is that I would kill myself, even though it would destroy my son, my wife, his life. And then obviously God would have to come in and change him. but all of the pain and misery and suffering that he would have to go through because of that, because of me, because I couldn't live with myself. That, oh man, dude, that hit. I mean, that was a kick in the left ball
Yeah,
badly,
that's a scary
you know,
realization.
because my wife and I had this idea that we are not going to raise our child the way we were raised. She had a rough childhood as well. You know, we are not going to do that. With broken families, divorce destroys people.
Yeah.
And it destroys the one thing that you're supposed to take care of, the innocent,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Baby doesn't know any different,
Mm-mm.
right? And now, hey, where's mom and dad? They don't like each other anymore. So now, no. And so,
And then it collapses back on them. Well, what about me?
right. Self again.
Why am I, the kid? You're like,
Yeah.
why am I able to be set aside? Why am I a choice?
Right.
Like,
And then that becomes a point for that kid that the malignancy starts to come in. And then it becomes self.
Yeah.
What about me? What about me?
Yeah.
What about me? And then later on in the years, it becomes what they covet, right? It's all about me, and they protect because nobody else is protecting me.
Yeah.
I got to protect myself. And then it becomes who your God, you're worshiping.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're running alone.
That's it.
You figure out that
you
you can only trust yourself.
That's
like you get all the way down to that
man. That's
point,
how I was.
and you're isolated.
I had no trust for anyone else, even my wife, man, who has never, ever done anything to me. I did not trust her. I thought at any turn she would leave me. She would, and I would test her by being so mean and bad to her. You know what I mean? To see if she would leave.
You're describing the trap. You're literally like, it's when you're little and you get the impression that you're not wanted or anything like that, you will spend almost the rest of your life looking for confirmation bias.
That's right.
But the lens you're looking at it through is already tainted. Right. So you're only able to see the stuff that's like confirming that you're not as valuable as other people.
Right.
And it like you said, it rots and we're only dealing with it in our own mind as we grow.
Right.
So, so you started at what age? It was about 5, 7 years old.
Yeah, I can remember back to when I was 3 years old.
Yeah, you said even earlier. So
a real bad situation.
And you were aware of it. You know what I mean?
And I knew at that moment that I was on my own, watching them fight.
It freezes you.
Oh,
It freezes you. Right
then,
I
was
child.
Done.
Yeah,
I was done. I knew that.
And then for the rest of your life, you keep seeing these things, and you get it. It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts to see all that your whole life.
Right. And then
you don't think there's any freedom.
And then the lie that you're worthless.
Yeah.
Because of something you had no control over.
Right.
I have zero value because nobody I loved had thought I was valuable. And so you take that on, that's your price tag. You're on clearance, buddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who would want me?
I have no value. Right. And so even married with my wife, I have no value.
Yeah.
Back before.
I know that feeling. It's like you look across and you're like, why are you even with me?
Dude, like for real.
I'm a bag of trash.
Right.
And then you'll even jab at that person to almost get the response for another confirmation bias. So you can look back at it and be like, see?
That's it. But she never did. It was God, because she came to the point, but she was about to leave me the day that I had, the transformation. I was drinking, all day.
Yeah.
She had made up her mind that she was divorcing me and taking my boy out of this. She'd made her mind up. Like, this is happening.
Yeah.
I can't take it anymore. And she's crying out to God. Why am I here? Why do you have me with him? Why,
Mm-hmm.
I needed that stability of her being that person that did not waver and saw value in me, right?
Yeah.
So that I could see that there is someone And God saw in her, like in me, the kind of man I would become once all of this was cleared out and I was one with God.
Mm-hmm.
I am the perfect husband for her. I'm the perfect man for her.
Mm-hmm.
Not for every other woman, just her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she didn't have a dad. And so she grows up with that. I didn't have a mom for a long time, right? In those development years. So she had an idea of what a man would be or shouldn't be, didn't know.
Right.
Had that same valueless of her, right?
Yeah.
As a so when you start like really following the water and where all the little cracks and crevices, it's where God is, and he's everywhere, and you see that from the very beginning this whole thing was orchestrated just for us. I would do it over 100 times, the same exact way that I did it, if it brings me to this point that I am now. It was all worth it. The pain, the suffering, the almost dying how many times. I would have done it all over again knowing. And now I can understand what Paul in the Bible talks about. It doesn't matter what happens on this earth. I am looking forward to the glory of God, looking him in the face in heaven. I will go through whatever I have to finish this race, because the end far outweighs the journey. You know what I mean? Like, I would do it all over again, 100%.
Amen.
To get to here, to where I am. No question of it.
It's funny when you get farther down the creek and you look back, the events that took place start making sense.
Right.
And you see how they connect, like how something so bizarre and bad can actually connect back to God.
The best thing that ever happened to me on that creek was actually having no paddles and letting the current take me. Everybody talks about the boat and the paddles, but nobody remembers there's a current.
That's true.
And that current takes you where you need to be.
I like that.
And that is in the arms of Jesus Christ.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. It's amazing. I know it's going to affect some people. It's already, affected me. You had me crying there for a second. Jeez.
Man, me too.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Come on. We're supposed to be tough.
No, when Jesus shows up, man, nobody.
I know.
You know?
It's crazy. What do they say? We actually did it today, and I didn't think I'd be that guy, but it's like where two meet to speak about God, he is there. Something like that. Yeah. And what a privilege we have to even have this conversation, to be able to come together and talk about God. It's insane. And we get to help people now with our screwed up stories.
And this is where we're supposed to be. This is what we're supposed to do. Is he told us to go out and make disciples, spread the word.
Yeah.
And man, what bothers me is there's times where I'll talk to people and I'll look back and I'll be like, man, I should have asked to pray with them. You know what I mean? Like, do you need prayer? Everybody needs prayer.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's I don't care, man. I used to be all weird about like talking about Jesus, like, back before he did what he did, and I was a Christian.
Yeah.
I was a Christian, thought I was going to heaven.
Yeah.
A drunkard will not see the kingdom of God.
Right.
That's what it says. So no, I wasn't. But, and I'd be, are you a Christian? Well, yeah, I believe in Jesus and whatnot.
Yeah.
But now I can't shut up about it.
Yeah.
And I don't care, because I know where I came from, and I know that you probably need to be there too.
Yeah.
It's
like the kid who doesn't want to get in the water because he's scared of the water,
right,
and then gets thrown off the dock and then thinks water's the best thing in the entire world, and wants everyone to go swimming.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's like,
come
one
in.
second you're so scared that you don't believe you can float. You believe you'll go to the bottom like a stone, all these kinds of stuff, and you find yourself bobbing like a cork, and you're like, really?
So what has this conversation really shown us is that you cannot trust whatever you think.
That's exactly what I pray about. I found out that I'm my biggest problem.
That's it.
I ask for protection from myself. And it's because I know if my life and my will is put in my hands,
right,
I will run rampant.
So you just every day, man. And it's a daily thing.
Oh, yeah.
We have to sacrifice ourselves to break ourselves on the cornerstone of Christ every day. You have to make a choice every day not to worship self.
Yeah.
To keep your eyes on God at every turn.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you, man, it's the whole sheep thing, that we are like sheep, is so relevant.
Yeah.
Because as soon as, just we're wandering over here. I don't even know why I'm wandering over here, but I'm wandering over here. And it's not where I'm supposed to be, but I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah.
And I know, right? And then all of a sudden, you feel like you're getting hungry. Your spirit, like, wait, what are you doing over here?
It's like, where's the shepherd?
Yeah. Well, every single day. But that's the devotion, right? It's the every day, God, you are my God, not me. I don't care what happens.
Yeah.
You say you have me. Have me.
And as that process happened, I started realizing, I'm going to say it this way, but I'm not like mean to myself. I realize how stupid I am or ignorant I am.
Right.
And how much there is that I have no idea about compared to the little freaking pill of knowledge that I might have.
Right.
And half of it might even not be true.
Right. You know? How do you know? How do you know?
So it's like, man, and the world starts opening up. It's an ongoing process because you can wake up the next day and be having a bad day, and you got to kind of like set yourself in place, open that window back up. Because I was living in hate for a long time, and I think you can relate. If you're living in hate, that's all you see in the world,
Right.
Because it's almost like confirmation bias. Like the world sucks, and then you go out in traffic, someone cuts you off, and you're like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot.
Yep.
You start getting angry.
Why are these people here? Why do I have to live with these people?
Exactly. And you're just tearing them down when these are, and like, it's just so crazy. And I don't want to go too far, but the layers that keep opening up, because then you're like, well, F that person.
Right.
And then you kind of get an idea of like, well, didn't God make that person too?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, oh.
What makes you different from them?
Yeah. And why am I allowed to chastise them?
Right.
When I hated the idea of anyone chastising me.
Right.
So it's like you hit these creeks and you're like,
because that is, you're seeing that it's contrary to how God has made you.
Yeah.
Right? Because does it really matter? No. So what are you doing? You're feeding self in that moment because you are now angry.
Yeah.
You have been slighted and offended.
Yeah.
Right? So now it's about eyes are off of God and right on to self again. And you're justified because, well, the rules say you're not supposed to do that.
That is true.
Right?
And you're like, who's getting it?
That's right. That's right.
It's like, I'm justified.
Yep. I'm checking all the boxes.
Who's getting it? And then,
except for self.
Except for
it's
self.
not about self.
Right.
It's not about you. Okay, so they cut you off. And? I'm sorry. I struggle with the same thing.
Yeah.
Brother.
I heard the saying the other day, no one cares.
Nobody.
And I'm like, that's so true.
Only you care.
I'm the one carrying it.
So that's the whole thing. I love the people that are like, oh, I'm offended. I don't care. Offense only bothers you.
Right.
Like, I don't care if you're offended.
You're in your feelings.
Why would I care?
Yeah.
You're the one that has the problem. It doesn't affect me at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so we can't, that's all emotional. That's self. That's dying to self. That's like putting you on a pedestal saying that, well, I matter to me.
Yeah.
I don't matter to me because I have really done a great job. Like, why would I matter?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Okay. Now there's annoying stuff like gum in a parking lot. You step in gum, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of person does that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're freaking,
cut you off, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the stuff that bothers us, we have to live beyond that and not let it, because all it's going to do is just take our eyes off of what we're supposed to be in that zone with God where nothing matters. Because there is a point when you're inside of God that nothing matters. Everything going on outside, it doesn't matter because you're sitting with the creator of the universe who knows your name, who has purpose for you. Like, what is there outside of that, man, really?
The only thing that can derail you from that is the fear that it's not true. It is like a trust fall,
Right.
but you will be caught.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that I was being caught sometimes, just like you growing up, being able to survive some stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't get through it without some help.
No, there's no question. And when you look back and you see that he had you by the hand the entire time.
Yeah.
You were never abandoned.
Yeah.
Never. From the point where you were conceived in the womb, you were never abandoned. God and every single person has this choice. But this is the point of choice. The Bible says he will give you the desires of your heart. And that doesn't mean good things.
Right.
It means whatever you desire, God will give it to you because it's your choice. And everything that happens in your life is designed to get you to the point where you see God. You will be open with a spirit to see God. Like if it gets that bad, man, I had to get real bad.
Me too.
But it's all designed for that, for God's glory.
And he showed up right on time.
As he does.
At the perfect moment.
As he does.
When we're broken and crushed.
That's it. At the point where you can't take one more breath. There he was. The hammer was coming back. I mean, you know, I don't know, probably 6 pounds of pull on that revolver, maybe 4. It was pretty light.
That is light, yeah.
4 pounds.
It's like a sniper rifle.
Well, if it's not cocked back, it takes a lot more. But once it's there, I mean, it's a it's a hair's breadth, you know.
Yeah.
And I was that far, and there he was. Jesus, boom.
And thank God.
Thank God, yeah.
Thank God.
Thank you.
We're just those special people who got to do it the right way. Or I mean, the different way. And I used to think that made me different and bad in a way, but now I realize that the whole time I was actually, in a way, special.
Yeah.
You know, I know that's a weird thing to say.
No, it's not, because somebody told me once the people who were the farthest from God, who finally go to God and are redeemed, are the most thankful.
Yeah.
Because they've been so far and they've seen so much and they've been so hurt and broken, and to be put back together like that.
And they can reach people that other people can't reach.
Right.
Who are in those dark places.
Right.
Yeah. Kevin, it's been a pleasure. I think you've given us so much to think about. A real story. It's beautiful. It's so awesome. And thank you for being that guy who's willing to come on and share that story.
You're welcome.
I prayed about it, and then all of a sudden we're talking in the driveway about it. I couldn't believe it. So thank God this happened. And
it's all for his glory, whatever we can do.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Shit Creek Survivors. Kevin's story is a powerful reminder that our struggles do not define us, and even that our darkest moments are not wasted. Sometimes the moments we think are breaking us are the very moments where God is carrying us, shaping us, and leading us towards something greater. If you're going through a difficult season right now, remember, you are not alone. God is still there. Because while every shit creek looks different, no one has to paddle alone. See you next time.